I am going to show you two completely unrelated sets of images, one of which is from a month ago and one of which is from when this video was recorded. Subscribe. I did not think this day would come, but I don't think anyone did. See, Demon1 just dropped 10 kills shy of the BO3 kill record with a 72 kill bomb of a game, largely in part due to a 37 kill nuclear bomb of a map. The longest map in VCT history is now officially Demon1's. No, not C9's, Demon1's. He dragged them across the line for this map, kicking and screaming, but they were able to prevail against one of the teams that was thought to be a contender going into this series in Envy. Now, I won't pretend to know what C9's going to do, but I'm really interested to hear what you guys think. In my mind, it's almost impossible to drop someone who just did that, dragging your team across the line, but at the same time, I don't see how it would make sense role-wise, so I would greatly appreciate your feedback in the comments section below. Anyways, we're going to get into this video. Make sure to subscribe. I'm like 20 subs away from 8K, and it would mean a ton. Let's get into it. Now, this game was very streaky until overtime, and we'll get into it being the longest game in VCT history in a minute here, but C9 started off really well here. They're going to end up converting this bonus, and it all starts with Penny. I cannot glaze the man enough. He's done a perfect job of being exactly what Demon1 needs, being that pure entry player so Demon1 can use his, I'll say it, best aim in the region, if not the world, to his advantage and not be dashing in on Neon. Penny gets this kill. Now, I will admit, Envy have a decent chance here, right? They've got a good buy. They have guns to go into this retake. Unfortunately, Demon1 decides he would rather play aim labs than Valorant, and that's what he does here. Their carefully positioned retake is turned into a tracking exercise. A little bit questionable on that last kill, but a 3K that converts the bonus and starts off the life map. I mentioned that this game was streaky. Cloud9 will lose 11 straight rounds right now. This is the first. But I want to talk a little bit about how they play this round, because I think it kind of shows how they started to lose rounds. They were very, very willing to let Demon1, as he diffs the Odin, by the way, a little bit of glaze, they were very willing to let him lurk into like these areas of the map, breaking this KJ utility. And it's very important to do that. Otherwise, Envy don't have to dedicate anyone to here, don't have to even think about it as a possibility. You'll see in other rounds, I don't think I'll be showing too many Envy ones, but you'll see in some other rounds if you watch this VOD that, hey, it makes them slow down, right? Headed on the B rotate because they know someone could be there if the utility's broken. If it's not too big of a concern, and they're willing to stack other sites. Right here, for example, it's a 4v4. They still have 2 on site. No one worried about the mid area. Eggster gets his, Kesnick gets his, and again, it does end up being a 2v2, but great play by Envy, and I don't want to discredit Envy by any means. They took this game down to the wire in a game that realistically, with how Demon1 was performing, should not have been nearly this close. They did a great job. It's just unfortunate, and I think they did make a lot of mistakes that coaches would be upset about. I believe their head coach tweeted out 2-1 C9 pathetic, which does make sense. Now, I want to talk about this utility here as well. This Astra Wall, at first, you might think it doesn't do anything, right? Because if the C9 players are playing on site, what does it matter? Maybe it isolates up, right? But this stun then forces both of them to go outside of this area, meaning they have to come back into the wall to try and stop a defuse. They also have no info if Zeppa's outside of the wall here, if there's a tap or whatever. Zeppa tries to come over. He's not stunned, by the way, just an observer glitch. Inspire gets 2, and now Envy will win 11 straight. Thankfully, we don't have to look at those because this was the longest game in VCT history. Yeah, 11 straight isn't great, but they recover, and they do so in a big way. Demon1, again, I will die on the hill. His op is top 3 in the game. Right? You can put whatever other 2 people you want. It is at least top 3. The man does not miss. But when he gets this first blood, they are forced to almost commit to the B execute here. I think they would have done it anyways, but it is an extra layer. Now, Penny gets this kill on Rossi, 5v3. I want you to notice 2 things. Number 1, they're going to play long. They're willing to play long. They're trying to get this fight so they can try and get numbers back closer to even. Number 2, the bomb is planted here. You do this when you are going to play long. Please keep this in mind for something I'm going to show you later. Now, Eggster, they're trying to have him do something on site. They don't want to give it up fully. They're trying to have him take a fight with the Flash. Can't do it. He has the TP set as well, but C9 are waiting. They're willing. They're disciplined, right? Penny is still back here. Then once they start to get the utility, they pounce. I want to also talk about something with Zelsis. Zelsis is not a great fragger, but for some reason, he is a clutch fragger. He did this on Sentinels, and he did it on map 3 of Split as well. The same thing that happened here, where it was a, very one-sided affair for Envy, and then C9 started to come back, happened, and it came at the hands of, obviously, Demon1, but also Zelsis starting to frag. He's a guy who will frag in those clutch scenarios, while some people will just falter. He's going to rise to the occasion and shoot better than normal. Now, C9 are going to fight A, and there is nothing B. There's a trip. Demon1 is mid, trying to get that same kill, which Inspire thinks better of lurking there. So now B is completely free as Envy's execute starts. But, big but here, I want you to pay attention to what I told you to pay attention to earlier. The plant spot. Poppin goes like he's going to plant here, then thinks better of it. There's no utility when he does this. This was before the molly. He thinks better of it, dips, and then comes back. I don't know what caused this, but it's going to be very important later on. Gets mollied, he waits, finally is able to go and plant the bomb. But this is the moment of this round. Zelsis ends up popping KO ult, gets the flash or whatever, but once he pops KO ult, it triggers Envy to dip. They just go, right? Bang, and he goes. All they need to do is kill the only guy on site. They're forced off with flashes. They just need to kill Egster, and even though he does have the shotgun, it does eventually happen there. Vic able to get the kill, and now they're off site with the bomb here. They can't see that. Again, if you're playing long, you play here, but either they didn't anticipate playing long, Poppin just made a mental error, which I think might be likely with him like getting up and then going back and all that. Demon1 covers, there's some AI generated media right there, and then Zeppa able to stick the defuse. This game came down to a lot of clutches. I think it was a bit lucky. The casters mentioned that they thought, Envy thought, Zelsis tapped and then got out of the smoke, but not the case. You can see Inspire not very happy in the face cam right there, but C9 bring it to 7. 11-7. This round comes down to changing the expectations. C9 have played very retake heavy. They do that last game. They done that this game. They are willing to play super retake heavy on Pearl. They don't normally leave an anchor in the actual bomb site. But this is important. Vic sticks around. I don't know why the stream lagged there. I apologize. But Vic, he sticks around, playing in the smokes, and you can see they don't expect it. Gets the kill onto Kesnet, able to get another crucial kill there onto Egster. Now, even though he dies, they have gotten the numbers advantage. But this is the round-winning call. The KJ ult goes up, Zelsis calls to go and overwhelm them. Not to give them time, not to let them play off the stuns and the sucks. No, he says overwhelm them. This is a call that could have and might have definitely, I would argue it's probable, would have gone wrong if it was anyone other than Demon1 on the chamber here. Because when there are two people back halls, you don't expect that. They just sent Demon1 to clear it. They said, we trust you with whatever's back here. And Demon1 delivers, getting the op shot, then the headhunter to save the round. Super, you-know-what-y calls by Zelsis. It just, the guts, we'll go with gutsy. Gutsy call right there to do that is absolutely insane, and it works out and gets them around. Beautiful stuff, and would not have happened without the help of Vic and Demon1. Envy forced into this round, and it is the last bit of economy they have from that big win streak. If they lose it, they are going to be in trouble, and there's instantly a call to fight here. Zelsis with a great flash. Zeppa ends up trading Zelsis, and now Penny is still in the spot. He does back up right here, but Demon1 is all the way over A. This has happened on a lot of rounds. They're the guy... He's someone who they trust, and especially when he's opping, which he was a lot of these games, they trust to hold space. So there are a lot of fights he wasn't involved in. Penny gets 2, forever cementing his status as my GOAT, but obviously next to Demon1. But, and this is the important thing, once he gets this third, Rossi is forced to just wait and chill. But keep the economy in mind. Now, Envy are going to be forced onto some saves, which gives C9 a real chance at this deficit, erasing it, and hopefully winning the game. I want to set the stage here a bit. Demon1 is filling in for Cloud9. He's already dropped a good performance, and no one would blame him if this game went the way of Envy. He's not supposed to be a good player. That's the reason he's being picked up mid-season to fill in for Oxy. However, Demon1 has a different mindset. As he recently said in an interview, he wants to be the absolute best at everything he does. And the absolute best, the best of the best, do stuff like this, where he will do a dominant play that is followed by the way, one of the greatest displays of hating on a player ever. After this clip, which I'll let play before I continue talking. After this clip, he then hits the iconic shush, which I think they will replay here. One of the casters, I can't remember who, said, "It doesn't feel like an ace." One, I admire that level of dedication to the hatred. Number two, I will judge aces purely off of vibes right now. But number three, Demon1, you know the shush. He's hit it at champs. Now he hits it to save C9 here. It's tough, it's beautiful, and I want your guys' opinion in the comments. Is Demon1, as you can see here, oh, he missed it. He almost went to the wrong camera, but it's all good. We love our GOAT. Who is the most auriful player in Valorant? For me, it's one of Kang, Aspas, or Demon1. I think Demon1. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Fragging-wise, Vic did not have the greatest game. But there are some players, including this game, Vic, who step up at the biggest moments. When everything is on the line, they deliver. Even if they are dropping earth-shattering numbers outside of it, clutches like these obviously change the outcome of the game. Vic with the 1v2 here to save C9 and push us into the longest game in VCT history. It almost didn't happen, by the way. C9 will win the next round, and I'll get into that, but this KJ ult caused Inspire to try and stick half when he's in the middle of the tail wall. All Zeppa needs to do here, granted he doesn't know it, all he needs to do here is kill Rossi in the game, the round, but eventually the game is won. He's not able to, though, and we push on into, again, the longest game in VCT America's history. I apologize, I think I said all of VCT before, that's not accurate. Envy started on A, but met some opposition in a C9 fight, and now pivoted to B. I've talked about how impactful these anchors can be. Vic and Penny both do it here. Penny with the first blood there, and then Vic getting the trade, but 3v3, again, I told you, C9 this game clutched more than probably any other game because it was the longest game in America's history, and it felt like it. Right here, Rossi should have gotten this kill. Realistically, Demon1 should be dead. Unfortunately, he's playing against Demon1. Demon1 gets the kill onto the guy that rumoredly replaced, that is not a word, but allegedly took his spot on Envy, a spot that could have went to Demon1. Now, Eggster needs to do something in this spot back halls, but he's unable to. As you can see here, the stun whittles down his health even more, and Zeppa is holding him the entire time, not giving him that chance to backstab and win the round. Inspire, again, bomb not really planted that well for him, so he's kind of forced to just sit here, jiggle around. Demon1 TPs for the aura, but unfortunately for Envy, we're going again. I do not know why Envy continued to go B. Not only did it not work at all, like ever, they continually did it back to back to back with the game on the line. You have the advantage here. Do something else, something that would work. But they kept trying to slam B. Granted, with somewhat different approaches, but every time they still tried to do it. Eggster ends up dying to Vic there, Zelsis getting the trade, and this dink is so much more impactful than you think, because it immediately leads to Zelsis getting the kill with the molly because he's so low. Now, 4v2, you need hero plays, Envy just don't really have it. Poppin's waiting, Inspire's on a lurk, which he still has not gotten anything from. He's about to actually finally be able to break the trip and swing, and he gets sat down. 14-14, C9, again, playing well when it matters the most. I love the call from Envy here. They faked B, went over to A, and it probably would have worked if not for Demon1. Demon1 saved this game for C9 in two ways. Number one, the sheer amount of kills he got surely added up to rounds, but two, he literally just gave them rounds. Think back to that ace and this round right here. Both of which, if they had lost, they would have lost the game. Now, this lurk from Inspire was a game winner right here. It probably should have won them the game. But Demon1, who should be dead here, I want you to look at this. He should be dead. If he loses this duel, right, to a guy he's probably not expecting, then Inspire becomes a pain for C9 the entire retake. They either have to fight him or be worried about a backstab. He's going to be able to stall at the very least these two players and make these two players uncomfortable. But Demon1 wins the fight, gets the first blood, and enables them to keep pushing forward onto the retake. Kesnet goes back main. Rossi is in a really, really far away spot, and the on-site players simply cannot handle C9. They get overwhelmed. Poppin tries his best, but he too ends up biting the dust. Rossi, who, by the way, does he chew gum? Like, what? Forget watching my beautiful face for a second. Is he chewing gum? He's just chewing the whole time. I don't know. Anyways, I like to chew gum when I play Valorant, but C9 will make it 15-15. If anyone knows about Rossi, let me know in the comments. I have no idea what that is. A really interesting thing about C9 is while Oxy's the player that's out, Demon1 isn't really stepping into Oxy's role. Penny is, and Demon1 is stepping into kind of a hybrid Demon1 and Penny role. Oxy's role on C9 is very often save the team. Penny, for just a brief moment, felt that and knew what he had to do. And so he did, winning C9 their first attacking round in all of overtime. But it still wouldn't be enough, as it would go on to be 16-16 after Envy take the next. I've talked about Vic's clutch ability before, but he 1v3s or 1v4s, depending on if you count Demon1 being alive as he plants the spike as a, player in that instance. Again, Vic saved the game twice just with his clutches. It's absurd stuff. He's a great player under pressure, and to be quite honest, I think every single one of these C9 guys are better when they're under pressure. Some teams crumble, some teams rise to the occasion, and that's what you need if you're going to win the longest game in VCT America's history. Zelsis just made, and I am not exaggerating, my favorite call of the year thus far. It was beautiful, and I'll get into it right here. So C9 right here are going to start going towards B, but they're willing to work a little bit of the map. You'll see here, they have 3 people over here, and now they're going to start moving around. But more importantly, they're going to have Demon1 start to move around, start to explore, because they don't want to be locked into one specific thing. They still haven't gotten bombed down. They're waiting, Poppin spamming with his Odin. They're waiting. Demon1, he's going adventuring right here to try and see if he can get them control of this B-bomb site. And guess what? After a pretty weird occurrence here, I believe he heard the silent jump spot. I don't think it ended up actually being silent here. Demon1 knows someone's there, at the very least, is very, very confident that it's probable. But gets the kill on the Rossi, and then immediately, look at the reaction from Envy. They're headed towards B because of it. But Zelsis, again, I'll talk about his fragging all you want, but his clutchness, his utility, and his understanding of the game is elite. He fakes the tap, leaving everyone on A. They all go back because they hear the bomb being planted. Once they realize what's happened, it's too late. Kesnet ends up making like a hero play attempt to try and just go in and kill Zelsis because no one's directly covering the, hey, Neon jumps down and suicides out of heaven, but they're still able to get the bomb down. Demon1 able to get the kill onto Kesnet and gets another onto Poppin, getting 3, but that's not who clutches the round. It ends up being Zeppa, the guy who has been on this roster for years, every single year criticized without fail for everything that he does. He has his highs and lows, but this was most certainly a high as he takes C9 to this and eventually the win. I hope you guys liked the video. My Discord is in my description if you guys want to get pinged every time I record. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Click on one of these 2 videos if you like them, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.